This is the guy that Apple CEO Tim Cook relies on to make iPhones. Now he wants to make your electric car. That's the pitch from Young Liu, Foxconn chairman and CEO. The Taiwanese company that assembles your iPhone, PlayStation 5, and Dell laptop bought this factory in Ohio, and it could represent the future of electric vehicle manufacturing. Foxconn wants to revolutionize the EV industry by replicating with automobiles the streamlined way its 1.2 million employees make electronics. So, if Apple someday decides to make a car, it's not impossible that this could be the plant that actually builds it. Foxconn, whose formal name is Honhai Technology Group, took over this plant in May 2022. It's had a turbulent few years. It was originally a General Motors factory, then it was sold to an electric vehicle startup that later went bankrupt, and now it belongs to Foxconn. But it's not exactly operating at full capacity yet. This factory in Lordstown used to make more than 300,000 vehicles a year. Now it's owned and operated by Foxconn of Taiwan, and it's making, well, dozens at a time now. The idea is to scale up and do what it does best. Foxconn is a successful contract manufacturer, which means it supplies the parts and assembles devices for other companies. It's the secret sauce that's driven the company's success for decades. Electronics firms all used to make their own products, but as consumer prices declined in the 80s and 90s, so did profitability. That created an opportunity for Foxconn. By working for multiple customers, the company gets discounts on large quantities of raw materials and components while keeping its factories running more efficiently. The more it manufactures, the more efficient it can be. The company's ability to access cheap labor in China gives it an edge. Although it's also caused problems in the past, with some factories in the country accused of treating workers so poorly that some committed suicide. Foxconn has previously said that it improved working conditions and raised wages at plants where suicides occurred. In 2007, Steve Jobs turned to Foxconn to make the iPhone, fueling further growth.
The second is a revolutionary mobile phone.
Foxconn revenue surged from $41 billion in 2006, before the iPhone was released, to $222 billion in 2022. So why EVs and why now? Well, global smartphone sales are slowing, and Foxconn, which makes the most iPhones, decided it needs to diversify. Young Liu set his sights on this new industry.
We did a study when we started about 3 or 4 years ago. At that time, the market at 2025 was estimated at $600 billion big.
Contract manufacturing makes better sense in the EV space is because there are less moving parts in EVs, there are less components, it requires less labor. So basically the whole process is much simpler.
Established tech companies like Amazon, Sony, and Apple are also dipping their toes in the water. So Foxconn's proposal to both legacy car companies, as well as any tech players or startups eager to get a piece of the electric vehicle revolution, is the same promise it once made to Apple. Come to us and we'll supply, design, or assemble any part of your car, or even the whole thing, faster and more cheaply than you can. The big push into electric vehicles by Young Liu is evident at company headquarters in Taipei. He and his team were in full preparation mode for its annual Tech Day. This is when they show off what they can offer prospective customers. And this time around, cars were front and center. Right now, Magna is the biggest contract manufacturer of cars for BMW, Mercedes, and Audi. After decades in the space, though, the Austrian-Canadian company still only makes $5 billion a year from that business. Foxconn is aiming for a much higher level of revenue, otherwise its current investments won't make much sense. The industry is littered with examples of electric vehicle startups that made bold claims about their products, but underestimated the cost and complexity of setting up factories.
That's where Foxconn comes in. They said that, okay, we can help you cut some upfront costs, we can help you cut the production costs.
Foxconn is entering uncertain territory, Building electric cars and smartphones involve similar skills. Both contain a battery and a lot of chips, but the scale is different. While an iPhone contains hundreds of individual components, an electric vehicle has more like 10,000 to 15,000. To cut shipping costs and avoid tariffs, Foxconn has said it plans to build electric vehicles close to where they're sold. But its experience manufacturing in the US is minimal. And now we're seeing big downturns within the industry, with auto giants including Ford, GM, and Honda all pulling back from EVs. In the years since Foxconn started making moves in the car industry, new challenges have cropped up.
It's been a while since Foxconn announced the plans. Economy outlooks has changed, growth is slowing down, we have high interest rates, consumers, they are holding back on car purchases. The business environment is getting tougher for new startups in the automotive space. So how can Foxconn get more clients to use their contract manufacturing services? That will be something we need to look out for the next couple of years.
That all raises a tantalizing prospect. Maybe the Taiwanese firm needs Apple to build a car to justify this huge bet. Although Apple CEO Tim Cook is his most valuable customer, they are staying quiet on the possibility for now. But if an Apple car does ever materialize, there's a chance it will roll off the production line in Lordstown.